Welcome to the High Ticket Success Podcast, where premium coaches, consultants, and advisors come for bold strategies, big breakthroughs, and real results. I'm your host, Dave Dubow.
Hey, boys and girls, welcome back. Today, my special guest is zooming in from just outside of Scottsdale, Arizona. Steve Feld is a very experienced coach. He's also an author, he's a public speaker, he's a fellow podcast host. He does a lot. So, Steve, welcome to the show. Great to have you.
Well, thanks for having me.
So, Steve, give us a little snapshot of who you serve. And I know you do a lot of different stuff, but like if you had to narrow it down to the 80-20 kind of thing, like what you give your clients the best bang for their bucks with, what would that be?
Yeah, the primary audience I serve are small business owners, entrepreneurs, coaches, consultants, and speakers.
Wow. Okay. That's cool. That's a pretty broad spectrum. So what do you help them do?
The biggest thing, well, we're small businesses, same with all the others on that category. They're good at being a technician. They can make a better widget. The problem they don't know is how to run a business and create a business for long-term sustainability to turn them into that entrepreneur, the true long-term. Stop working in your business and start, managing it. And I try to get them to that mindset by putting in the systems and processes in place so they can start taking some time off and hopefully sell their business and get that sweat equity back.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guilty of that myself, Steve, and I've been self-employed since 1993 for crying out loud, and I still suck at a lot of the business nitty-gritty stuff and the bookkeeping and all this kind of stuff.
Oh,
Try to outsource as much as I humanly can, that's for sure. But yeah, I see that being a big problem. And I hope, correct me if I'm wrong, but do you see that a lot with coaches and consultants and people that go from like the corporate world to being
yeah. Right.
self-employed? And now it's like, oh shit,
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't do it all, man. Is that what you find?
Absolutely. I'm a little different than a lot of other like business coaches out there. I've owned and operated 7 businesses and I've turned 4 businesses around. I kind of know what they're going through. So waking up at 2 in a cold sweat, worrying about payroll,
Mm.
I know that feeling versus someone who I always said jumped the cubicle. They left that cubicle from corporate, hung up a shingle. They really they might know their craft, but they don't know business or
Mm.
marketing or accounting and operations, and it goes on and on.
So how did you get your feet wet with all of those things? Because that's a pretty broad spectrum there. How did you get your expertise?
Was one of those lifelong entrepreneurs selling stuff out of my locker in school. So
Hmm.
that's how I started. And my parents
Hopefully
started
something
teaching.
legal, but I won't ask. I won't dig.
I got caught a lot. The principal and I ended up being
There
pretty
you
good.
go.
But my parents taught me about cost of goods, how to keep records. And here I am, like in elementary or junior high, doing this, and they're supplying me the goods, and I have to pay them back. And it was like, whoa, what's this? It's commerce. And then as time went on, I started really digging deep into it, always going to entrepreneurial courses, business classes, accounting, economics. And I started finding mentors in operation and marketing. And it was just like, I'm just consuming it. And then when I decided to open up my business, I went and got a coach.
Hmm. Okay, cool.
And that got
Just out
me.
of curiosity, Steve, what were your parents giving you to sell to school?
Oh, it was soda, chips,
Okay.
candy bars. I
Got
did
it.
progress. Once I got into college, it became test results, questions. I was doing people's taxes in my kitchen in college because they were all 1090,
Yeah, yeah.
1040 easies. And I'm sitting there knocking it off all cash basis. And it's like,
Nice, nice. Okay, cool, cool. So you've been an entrepreneur for a long time. So what the whole show is about high ticket success. So what does that term mean to you, if anything, Steve? What does high ticket mean for you and your coaching business?
yeah, it took me a little while to get there. I'll be
Yeah,
honest, because
yeah.
I think a lot of entrepreneurs get into that, fear of, oh, I'm going to charge too much and it's out of your range. Then I started realizing my net worth, what I'm bringing to the table. And my coach opened my eyes to this. So I've had programs anywhere from like $97, 197. And then I had programs starting at 5,000 a month. I started noticing those were the business owners. They wanted to win. They wanted to make a success. And then I was slowly dropping the others and going for the higher ticket prices. And I also realized that starting a mastermind group, I had a mastermind group for the startups, like from 100,000 to a million gross sales. And then another mastermind for those overdoing 2.5 mil. Totally different conversations, different price level, different activities. And I noticed the higher end one was getting gargantuan results versus the lower end. And I started slowly phasing out the lower end. And I stuck with the high ticket because I started noticing we talk different, we're thinking differently, and our level of engagement is completely different. And that's when I started really bringing in that high ticket to them and bringing in the coaching after the mastermind.
Interesting. Okay, very cool. So if you don't mind kind of letting us peek behind the curtains a little bit, Steve, besides word of mouth and referrals, what works best for you in 2025 for generating high ticket leads?
Best one I've had is joint venture partnerships.
Really?
I've been
Okay.
doing this for, I don't even know when I started, but
Yeah.
it's kind of like in my bloodstream now.
Yeah.
I'm always working with a joint venture partner. And I know a lot of people are thinking, well, how do you do that? So I would say Dave has a program. I'm going to introduce Dave to my audience, my
Right.
tribe, and pump him up. They sign up to Dave. Dave sells them on his programs, and I get a little referral fee.
So an affiliate type
Affiliate
relationship, a
type.
joint venture. Yeah,
Yeah.
same difference.
And it works both ways. And I've noticed I'm doing a lot more of that. And so that's leading to more being on summits. And now I've been getting very particular on which summits I'm going on. So I'm going for more of the higher end summits by just speaking, sharing my knowledge, more than happy to. Here's resources. Please, I don't want you to fail in business. Please, use it. And
Yeah.
if I can help you, then here's my programs.
Nice. Nice. I like that. So are you kind of ascending people? Are you giving so you're giving them free value, lead magnets, books, whatever, I would imagine. Is that ascending them into a lower level program, or do you get them right into your high-end mastermind type things?
Yeah, I still have the ascension model in
Yeah,
my business because I found a lot of people start off low. They just got to get to know you. They got
right.
to know, like, and trust you. So, I'm going to give you an easy way to do that. And then they jump through the ascension model pretty fast and get in the
Nice.
high ticket. Whereas others just did a conference and it was all business owners in the room. I just dropped my high end offer. Done. I'm not going to, either you like me on stage or you hate me. Here it is.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of fun.
Well, hey, especially if you got some signups from that. So just out of curiosity, Steve, what do you find works best with your years of expansion of experience in this ascension model? What kind of a course gets them engaged, gets them started, gets them results, but also gets them even keener to go in deeper with you?
Yeah, I start off always with the book. I'll give away an ebook all day, but then
Right.
it goes. Lately, my hottest thing is how to optimize your LinkedIn profile to attract customers, your
Right.
target customers. And I see that they don't even know who their target customers are.
Right.
So I have to start from scratch
What's
explaining
an
it. But
avatar? What does that mean?
exactly.
Yeah.
And get
Marketing
them into a
101.
video, get them into a group coaching program, get them into the mastermind. And every step, it's kind of like you got to give them like the next carrot. What's next? And I give them that what's next up front.
What do you mean?
So in the videos, I said, hey, if this is going good for you and you're using it, you should come into our group coaching program
Right.
and really gain some traction. You're going to network, you're going to meet other entrepreneurs, you're going to just start growing. And if that is good for you, one day you can be in one of our mastermind groups.
So just kind of
Laid out.
planting the seed,
Mm-hmm.
getting it out there. That's smart. So you kind of Get them started with a free resource or a book or something like that. Then you solve a very specific problem,
Yeah.
right? So how do I optimize my LinkedIn profile? And so that's usually some sort of a little home study program type
Yeah.
thing.
30-minute video, they can pause
Yeah.
it and go to their profile. I actually give them forms in
Mhm.
with the video so they can copy paste and make it their own.
Nice. Nice. So then they go through that fairly quickly. They see they start getting some results, and then they book in a call to get going with
Right.
your next level program. Is that
And
kind
I'm
of
a
how?
big fan of automation, so drip campaigns.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Smart. Very cool. I know you've written like 20 different books.
20
Tell me a little
books.
bit about where books come in on your marketing strategy.
Well, my very first one I wrote only as a lead magnet. That was it. I'm not going to be an Amazon bestseller. It was not the goal. My goal was to be a lead magnet. And it
Business
has,
card on steroids, somebody once said.
yeah, oh my gosh. And it's short, easy to consume, 8 strategies to build, put in your business right now without spending more on marketing or advertising.
Hmm.
Short, simple, to the point. It has paid off and like there's no tomorrow. And then I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm noticing, hearing my clients, they don't know how to read their financial statements. And these are people
And,
in business 5, 10 years, and they still can't
and
read a financial statement.
and do they want to?
Yeah, because I go, when was the last time you looked at your financials? And they're like,
Yeah,
I don't know. My accountant does it and gives me a packet. And I would see unopened envelopes stacked up. They're not even looking at it because they don't understand it. Then I
exactly.
noticed there was a problem. They've never been taught
Hmm.
and
So
they
they
don't
feel dumb.
understand the numbers can mean things.
Yeah,
So I wrote a book.
nice. So problem, solution, problem, solution.
And all the books starting off, I think the first 12 books were all problems my clients were having. And I talked to others. I pulled them at networking events, conferences, and they were all having the exact same problem. And I'm like, wait, this is an easy solution I can give you without
Nice.
going crazy and paying for someone. But still, if you don't know accounting, please, for the love of everything, hire someone to do that. You're going to save your sanity.
Yeah, definitely. So how do you use the books, Steve? You've written 20 of them. You're not worried about becoming an Amazon bestseller. How are you getting the word out about your books? And then how are you converting people from the books into clients?
So every book does have a drip campaign with an ascension model as well. So they all have different messages, different targeting, but it all leads to the end group coaching and masterminds. It depends on the event too. So at a conference 2 years ago, right after all the craziness, it was in person. And they said, listen, we can pay your expenses. We can't pay you. I go, great. How many people are coming? 250. I'll tell you what, buy 250 books, give each one a copy on you saying you're a hero. They're like, okay.
Yeah.
And I knew I found out from the organizer what their problems were. And it was marketing.
Hmm.
Great. I got a book for that. Give them a marketing book.
Nice. All right. So you showed up, you did your spiel. Did they get the book before they saw you or after they saw you speak?
When they sat down in the room, it was sitting
They
on their desk, on their
nice.
chairs.
Nice,
And I
nice.
had a booth in the back so they can talk to me afterwards as well. And that's when I had other books there available for sale.
Okay. So you're giving away the books, you're selling the books. You're not looking to make money off the books, I don't think. It's just kind of a cover costs and a lead generator, right?
That's
Right.
it. I mean, I make my few bucks.
Yeah.
Not going to be in Barbados anytime soon, but
Not with book sales. Yeah, I get
yeah,
it.
but I knew they were always leading into something. And I always recommend people who write books put your stuff in the back of the book. What
Mhm.
is their next step? Be very crystal clear. Because when they get to the end, they might say, now what?
Yeah.
Give them it.
Right. So make it easy for them to reach out to you. Now, do you do anything to capture lead information when you're doing stuff like that? Like getting names, email addresses, phone numbers, that sort of thing?
Yeah, I always try to negotiate email lists because that's
Mhm.
your gold.
Right.
And you really need to tap into it. And it's funny, I clean up my email list twice a year. So for the unopens, the bogus emails, get them out. I'd rather have a lower number saying who on my newsletter list versus I got this gargantuan number and I have a 5% open rate.
Exactly. Yeah.
I know those are overinflated numbers when people tell me, and I said, how many people are really opening it? And then that's a different story.
Completely. No, for sure. Interesting stuff, Steve. So we're at the time we're recording this, we're in the middle of September 2025. What are your goals? Where are you taking your coaching business over the next year or so?
Well, it's funny you mention that because I sold 90% of my business off about 3 years ago. So I retained the 10. And about a month ago, someone goes, hey, I want you to coach me out of the blue. How'd they find me? LinkedIn optimization. And I'm like, well, I can't do it because I have a non-compete and non-disclosure and all these things. And then I started looking at it and it expired within days. And I'm like, game on. So I refocused. My podcast is now picking back up. I had so many episodes in the can. It lasted me for 3 years. A good problem for me, not great for my guests, unfortunately.
No. Waiting 3 years for their episode to come out.
Yeah, it was so backed up. It was very popular. So been bringing that back up, getting more speaking engagements. And now I've been coming out of the woodwork. I've always been doing joint venture partners. And now we're getting deeper into the joint venture ships and doing summits together and speaking and 3-day events. So it's just been a whirlwind in the last month. And I'm like, well, I'm going to bring back my mastermind group now that I can legally and not be sued. Yeah. So I am going to bring back my high-end mastermind groups.
Nice. What have you been doing for the last 3 years?
Turning around a company.
Okay, that'll keep you busy, that's for sure. Awesome, Steve. Well, this has been fascinating. If people want to get more Steve Feld, where should they go?
LinkedIn is actually the best one, and I'm under Steve Feld.
Surprise, surprise. All right. So and we'll try to put that link in the show notes. So if you want to connect with Steve, click on that. Steve, thanks so much for being a great guest.
Thank you for having me, and please let me know whatever I can do to help.
Will do. All right, everybody, take care, and we will see you on the next one.
Thanks for listening to the High Ticket Success Podcast. Want to be featured? Share your story and inspire other premium coaches, consultants, and advisors? Apply now at highticketsuccesspodcast.com/guest.